We're pioneers, man. Pioneering the shit out of this. Put that in there.
What is up, everybody? Jake here, head of content creation at Still Austin Whiskey Co. And I am currently driving out to our rig house right now to meet up with Christian. He's going to tell us all about the single barrel program. We're going to try some whiskeys. He's going to tell us what he's doing. And it's going to be super exciting. I'm stoked. Can't wait to bring y'all along and show you how we do the damn thing, you know?
It's always fun to roll around full barrels of whiskey. A few things that really set us apart in this single barrel program apart at Still Austin is the way I go about selecting these barrels. Each and every barrel selection, I am curating a very specific set of flavor profiles. They're all gonna taste completely different, which is really fun. Makes the selection process sometimes go a little bit longer, but we like to have fun with that because it's not just cut and dry. And they're all truly unique single barrels. And we want you to know that that's really what you're getting when you get a single barrel from Still Austin. You're not just getting something that's, you know, generic that everyone else would get. You're gonna get a beautiful, one-of-a-kind tasting barrel that no one else is gonna have their hands on ever, because they're all unique and beautiful in their own right. Every single one of these barrels is made up of a lot of different barrel staves, different oak barrel staves. And so it's really, really fun to be able to try and find the ones that are really different. So in short, yes, they all have the perfect mix of everything going on, right? The same mash bill, same distillation process. Obviously all charred number 3, charred New American oak barrels. And we can go through every single one of these, and every single one of these barrels is gonna taste like wildly different. Some of them you wouldn't even think was our product because it tastes so different, but that's the beauty of single barrels. And that's really what we're trying to do with the single barrel program, is showcase how truly unique each one of these is, you know, with us harnessing the Texas climate, harnessing how hot it is out here, our high highs, our low lows, constant humidity. I mean, we can age whiskey like nowhere else in the United States, nowhere else in the world, really, in this beautiful little pocket in Central Texas and South Texas, which is pretty cool. Should we pop open some barrels? Let's do that. This one looks promising. Just like to give them all a nice swirl because there's little pockets of alcohol and air that build up inside these barrels. And so when you swirl it and then take a sample, you're getting a really good idea of what, you know, the majority of the barrel truly tastes like. Oh, you gotta try this. Wow. Almost like a mole, like dark cacao, really, really deep, real deep caramel, like almost like burned like creme brulee, like really, really long finish. This is a phenomenal time of year to be tasting single barrels too, because they're getting a chance to rest. In the middle of the summer when it's ripping hot, there's actually liquid inside the barrel that's slowly moving. It's percolating, it's pushing in and out of the wood. And I mean, obviously that's how we get this beautiful color and the majority of the flavor profile. So this is a phenomenal time to be tasting because you're kind of getting the fullest expression of what that barrel had to offer and what it imparted on the liquid, because there's not a lot of movement happening inside the barrel. Once whiskey inside of a barrel hits an ambient temperature of right around 45 degrees, there's no more active aging happening. It's just hanging out. It's just doing its thing until it ramps up in heat again. The biggest thing we have going for us, one of the best things we have going for us here in Texas, is the amount of time it takes for these things to cool down. You know, you take a look at the temperatures on average every year in Kentucky and Tennessee, and they've been cool now for, you know, months. We're just starting to get to that time where it's, you know, I'm out here in a short sleeve and, you know, it's still beautiful out here. So guarantee the liquid inside these barrels is absolutely not at 45 degrees Fahrenheit, which means it's still, you know, somewhat kind of slowly actively aging, which is pretty cool. Oh, this one's totally different. It's buttery. It's like when you first open a bag of Cracker Jacks. I don't know when the last time anyone opened up a fresh bag of Cracker Jacks, but that's exactly what it smells like. And a little bit like those delicious German nuts that they roast inside Buc-ee's that make you hungry immediately when you walk in. Totally different in that one. Can't wait for you to try it. Oh yeah, she real low. So one thing that we have found is as these evaporate a little bit more, and that can be anything due to it being on one of the higher levels in the rack house and being exposed to more heat. Obviously, right, it's gonna evaporate a little bit more, a little quicker during the summer. But also, one or two of the slats may not be perfectly watertight. It may be watertight right when they fill it up, but over a year or two, if it's like, you know, stacked away in the back, you're not gonna notice like the slow trickle. So sometimes I like to call them waterfall barrels, which is like this guy. Got a little whiskey waterfall, right? And that's just pure whiskey pushing through the slats, pushing out of the wood, and all that you know, beautiful color just comes from the charcoal is pushing out through the liquid and staining it. So yeah, what I've noticed is a lot of these that tend to evaporate, they get a lot higher proof, and some of those are my favorite. Oh baby, oh baby. It smells like a Milky Way or a Twix or both, like warm brownies coming out of the oven, like some toffee. Bam! That's so good. You gotta try that out.
1 week later.
Let's test the proof on these bad boys. So with our handy dandy Anton Par here. So this tests the temperature of the liquid and the alcohol, the ABV by proof. So we just stick that in there. Let it come up. Ooh, that one got a little hot. Really? 120? It's good to see. It's a big swing. 119.9. Yeah. Now I'm gonna update that on here so I know. So this is a really interesting jump in proof. So last time I checked the proof on this was in July, just because I just, you know, needed to go through another summer, needed to get a little more wood in it. And it was at 117.5 and now it's at 119.9. So that's how much these things can change. The alcohol can change in these after the liquid is pulling out of the wood, after it starts to cool down from the summer, especially a ridiculously hot summer like we just had. Cool, wow, that's a mighty big jump. Let's check this little bad boy.
What do they normally go up, down?
It's well, on average, the majority of these go up once and then down, and then depending on how hot the summer was, it might even jump up a little bit. In this case, you know, exactly what that one did. That's so strange to see. It's cool to see. It's weird. It's like a giant science experiment. So that's perfect, like 118.6. So this hasn't seen a lot of difference in ABV since it went into the barrel, because the whiskey goes into the barrel straight from the distillery at 118. So that means over the course of, you know, we're looking at 3.5 years. I mean, we're still only 0.6 away. That's the beauty of barrels. That's the beauty of single barrels, is no two are exactly alike, and you know, the wood that went in to make these barrels is never alike. So it's crazy. 57.8. So that means that we've constantly been aging the entire year here, and it's January. I guarantee not once has that gone down to 45 degrees this whole year. Well, not this whole year. There's only 5 days in this year, but yeah, that's pretty incredible. So there's a really, really good chance we're gonna have constant maturation occurring, you know, all the way up until spring this year. Yeah, I mean, that's why we have, you know, a 3.5 year barrel that guarantee you I'd be happy to put up neck to neck in a blind taste test against any 6 year or even some 8 year whiskeys. I mean, we just have this perfect climate for, you know, constant aging of whiskey. That's pretty exciting to see. Ooh. A little fruity guy, like some dark plum, like cherry. Ooh, some stone fruit. Maybe a little bit of peach even. That'll do. Man, that's so good. Holy cow, that's really, really exciting to taste. You wanna try this one? Oh, these guys are gonna be really happy. I can't wait to see which one they pick. Those are all crazy different. Okay, let's pull some 375s. It's all real thought out, man. We're thinking this out. It's almost like we know what we're doing. Yeah, so now each of these are gonna get labeled with the appropriate correlating serial number to the barrel and the updated proof of what we just took on here. So when we're doing tastings with folks, they know, exactly the proof that it was at days before, their tasting, which people really like to see. A lot of times you don't know when a proof was taken or tested, and it could be a sample sitting, that someone just sent to you, for months, months in advance. So that's why I like doing this. It's all handwritten. I do 100% of it myself. And then once we're done labeling all these, I'm gonna package them up. We're gonna pop a cap on these guys. These get actually sealed. These just get a cork. And then once we go do the tasting, this is what we're gonna taste everyone. We're gonna do the tasting out of the 100 mils. And then whichever one of these barrels this whiskey group selects, they're gonna be able to take home the 375 of whatever barrel they select. That's what the 375s are for. And then worst case scenario, I don't know, it's not necessarily worst case scenario, maybe best case scenario. People have depleted the 100 mil sample. We can always just dip a little bit into the 375. The long story short, there's always plenty of whiskey to taste. Think of worse problems to have.
The next day.
We're here at the distillery to do a barrel pick. We got a group of guys that flew in all the way from Washington to do a pick with us. We've already, selected the samples. We did that about 2 days ago, so they're fresh out of the barrel. So everything these guys are gonna be trying today is as true to what that whiskey really tastes like in the barrel right now, which is what we want and what you can expect from every single barrel pick that we do here. It's still awesome. Yeah, now we're gonna select a delicious barrel together. We got 3 individuals today. Let's do 4 for good measure, because I'm sure Jason's gonna want to do it with them. We're gonna label every single one of these. Ooh, straight from the barrel, baby. Look at all the charcoal in there. Straight from the barrel, baby. That's how you know it's good. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for making the flight. Amazing. Really appreciate it to have the support all the way out there for you guys to want to come down here and do this with us. Pretty badass. I'm yours today. Take your time. Want you to be super happy with this. Want you to go through each one of them how you normally would. We obviously have plenty more over here. Whichever bottle you guys pick today, whichever barrel you guys pick, you're gonna take one of those home with you. Yeah, so I'm gonna start pouring for you guys. These are all the exact same mash bill as the cask strength, so 70% corn, 25 rye, 5% malted barley. 100% of the grains are still grown for us by Lone Star Family Farms here in Texas. The corn that we use, I'm sure that Jason already told you, plays a massive role in, our final product here being a food grade corn, food grade non-GMO'd corn, and not deer feed or cow feed. These are all, I wouldn't say they're all very close in age, but actually no, they're all kind of like a gamut. We got some from 2020, got some from 2019, which for us is a little bit on the older side for stuff that we're releasing right now.
Whoa.
Okay, oohs, ahs, and wows are all great sounds.
The finish, there was like a little like chocolatey note that really popped for
sure.
me at least. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks, sir.
you got it.
Great variety.
Oh yeah.
Of picks that like you picked the spicy, the fruity, the rich, and I feel like we were landing right in the middle on 4, but it's awesome.
Number 1 has my favorite. It's still my favorite nose.
The nose is the best. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just going, okay. If they make this into an edible food, I'm in.
Yeah, it's like fruit salad on the nose.
It's super incredible.
Spicy, sweet fruit salad. There's.
Come on.
Cheers, guys.
This is great.
Happy to have you here.
Cheers.
Number 4. Thank you.
Number 4,
Number 4. Number 4.
you are the proud new owner.
Come on,
Barrel
baby.
Lover. Cheers, guys. All right, so we're here with the Kitsap Whiskey Society from Washington. They just selected an absolutely beautiful barrel from our 5 different samples that I pulled straight from the barrels a couple days ago. Next steps in the program are going to be letting this sit for another month or so, and then it's going to get dumped by our bottling team. We do everything on site. We do everything ourselves, bottling, labeling. That doesn't get contracted out anywhere else, which is pretty great. And then I will let these wonderful gentlemen know how many bottles exactly their barrel yielded. These are all going to come in 6-pack 750s, so 750 milliliters with 6 bottles per. On average, you're going to run right around 30 cases per barrel. But yeah, as soon as those get dumped and labeled, I'm going to let these guys know so they know exactly what to expect and how much delicious whiskey they're going to be able to share with their friends. You're going to have your own label on it as well. It'll say Kitsap Whiskey Society right on the top of it.
Cheers. Let's do this.
And then next step after that is we all get to share it together when we come up to Washington.
Yep.
Come on up.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.